This movie is about fighting monsters and creatures in another world and the gate that connects these two worlds. In the beginning, while a ship is surfing through the sands of the desert in an unknown world, moving towards a tower with bolts of lightning around it, gets attacked by an unknown creature. The captain tries to fight back, but he can't stop it. A fierce battle happens on the ship, and at last, a young boy gets thrown out of the ship. Next, we are brought back to our world where a team of soldiers is looking for their missing team in the desert. The captain of this crew is Natalie. On their path, they drive alongside some carved stones. In the meantime, they spot a strange storm getting close. They try to run from it, but the storm outruns them. The team reaches back at the carved stones area, but now they are shining blue. Suddenly, a gap in the path catches them by surprise. They lose control of the car and fall into the gap, shifting left and right inside of the car. After they settle, they find themselves in a deserted land. Lost and confused, they find out that their radio and compass don't work. A few minutes later, they spot a wrecked truck with dead bodies beside it. They are burned to death and there are signs of glass on the floor. They decide to keep driving and sing a song to wash away their sadness. They stop with shock after encountering a giant skeleton. In the meantime, a stranger is spying on them from a distance with a spyglass. He then shoots an arrow but hits the skeleton. The soldiers shoot him back, but then find out he was warning them about something. At that moment, a giant creature starts moving towards them. They run with fear and start shooting at it, but the bullets seem not to have any impact on it. The creature turns the car over, but the soldiers manage to save the driver. At the time they want to use the RPG, the creature flips their car and stabs one soldier with his horn. The soldier distracts it with grenades, so the crew starts to run for cover. They enter a cave too small for the creature to get in. At last, the creature decides to leave. As the sun sets and they settle in the cave, another strange creature catches Natalie off guard and stabs her in the back of her neck. Looking dead and pulseless, the crew leaves her behind. As they are fighting with the creatures, the hunter is helping them from a distance. In the process, one of the crew members gets eaten by a monster. The remaining keeps running, even the hunter. Next, you see Natalie waking up wrapped in a spider web. She manages to get out, but is disgusted when she sees her friend dead in a spider web. In the process of escaping, she finds a bag with some bullets, flares, and a spray in it. She illuminates the flare and finds one of her crew members. He says he isn't feeling good and cannot walk. After he tears his shirt off, he sees that spider eggs are hatching on his skin. At that moment, two spiders attack them, but Natalie sets them on fire and tries to escape. Just on the verge of escaping, a spider grabs her leg and pulls her in. She uses the bullets and tosses them on the spider so that it distracts it. She eventually manages to escape to the surface. Natalie immediately checks for spider eggs on her skin. Unfortunately, there aren't any. The spiders still want to hunt her, but they can't be exposed to the direct sunlight, so they retreat. Next, she uses the gunpowder inside of a bullet to burn a scar on her feet. The situation is not good for Natalie, and she feels alone and tired. She finds a dirty water puddle, but she hesitates and doesn't drink from it. While roaming between the rocks, the hunter is spying on her. Later, she discovers an abandoned ship and finds a barrel inside. Excited for water, she faces a barrel with just sand in it. Disappointed, she starts searching the ship. Suddenly, she hears something and the hunter attacks her right after. They have a furious fight, but eventually the hunter knocks her out. With tied hands, the hunter takes Natalie to his shelter, but in the middle of the road, she sneaks a rock in her hand. He then starts drinking his gathered water in front of her and eating some green stuff off of a rock. The spiders are looking for him, so he demands Natalie to be quiet. Next, you see the hunter doing some meditation while Natalie is cutting the rope off with the stone she sneaked. In the morning, after the hunter comes back to the shelter, Natalie is escaped. Then she attacks him with a bat and ties him up. As she tries to drink from the water, he spills the water all over with a kick, so she can't drink it. They are talking to each other but don't understand each other's language. Natalie destroys something important to him, making him angry. They start fighting again, but this time they are trying to seriously hurt each other. They roll down from the shelter and continue their fight outside. They sleep again and the hunter falls into the spider's nest. As the spiders are getting close to hunt him, Natalie takes his hand and saves him. Then she proceeds to uncuff him and says she is not his enemy. She then gives him chocolate, which he finds delicious. As an act of appreciation, the hunter gives Natalie his water bottle. Then he walks towards a cliff, shows Natalie the lightning tower, and says they have to get there. Natalie says we have to kill that creature first. She then continues that she has some weapons. The hunter says the bullets don't do any damage to that creature, so he takes her near the spider's nest. He says we have to hunt a spider and use their venom and sting to poison the creature. Natalie then asks how are they gonna do this. In the next scene, Natalie is standing in a spider area and waiting for the sun to set. After a spider comes out of the nest, she starts running. The spider gets stuck with the bait, then the hunter attacks and cut off the sting, then they both run. It's the middle of the night, and the spiders are serious about getting inside their shelter. The next morning, they are getting ready to fight the creature, and start by looking into the abandoned ship. The hunter manages to get the sting ready, and Natalie is practicing shooting. They even find a sword that will light up when put together. The day of the battle begins. First, they distract the creature with a barrel, and start running towards the ammunition. The creature follows them, but they stop in the middle of the way. The hunter makes himself the bait to buy time for Natalie. While running, he drops a memorial of his family, and when he goes back to pick it up, the creature attacks. But shortly after, the hunter pulls the arrow with the poison and shoots it right in the creature's eye. As the furious creature wants to attack the hunter, Natalie distracts it with a machine gun fire. It doesn't do any damage, so she picks up the RPG and fires it right into its face. Unbothered by the RPG, the creature tosses Natalie and the vehicle away. Out of nowhere, the hunter appears at the top of the creature and pushes his sword into the creature's head. The creature throws him away, but Natalie is getting ready to strike. She pulls herself up above the creature, pushes the sword deep into its head, and finally kills it. Natalie then looks for the hunter but finds him fainted on the ground. She uses the skin of the creature to pull him with her toward the tower. At night, Natalie uses the medical tools she has to keep the hunter alive. In the morning, the hunter wakes up confused, pulls the devices out of his body, and continues walking towards their destination. They reach a jungle biome where they find a river. As Natalie gets close to drink from the water, a monster attacks her, but the hunter saves her life. Later, they cook the monster for dinner. In the middle of the night, a dragon appears in the sky and sets the jungle on fire, causing the animals to run with fear towards them. But an old guy appears in front of Natalie and tries to save her with a flaming sword by scaring the animals. On the other hand, the hunter starts running in the woods, but gets saved by some people hanging from the trees. Natalie thanks the old man, but he knocks her out with a punch. Next, you see her in a cage, locked up. Natalie tries to escape, but encounters the hunter. He takes her to the old man so he can unlock her handcuff. Then she asks for the reason he did this, and he says that he is afraid of their world. He continues that ancient people built this tower, but it causes problems. An open gate between two worlds is dangerous. It's protected by a dragon called Ratulus, and killing it is hard. So he asks for Natalie's help. In the morning, they start the journey to the tower. When they reach there, they get prepared for the battle. The old man reminds Natalie that the dragon's weakness is right before it breathes fire. They get into an intense fight with the dragon, with everyone doing damage in their way. As Natalie is beneath the dragon fighting it with her sword, gets followed by the dragon, so she has to jump off a cliff into the unknown. But to her luck, she gets teleported back to Earth. A military helicopter and soldiers immediately show up and begin to help her. They say they have been looking for her. As a soldier is asking questions about the other members of her team, a portal appears in the sky and Ratulus comes out of it and attacks the helicopter. The dragon starts breathing fire upon the soldiers and their vehicles, causing massive destruction. The dragon destroys tanks and helicopters with ease. It even wrecks the military plane, which was flying above everyone. Natalie gets ready to face the dragon herself. She throws an arrow at its wing and scratches it with a knife. She then gets ready for the dragon to open its mouth. Then she puts a device in front of the fire and burns her hand in the process. She then shoots the device into the dragon's mouth, causing it to burn from the inside, but it didn't die. All of a sudden, the hunter shows up and starts shooting explosive arrows towards the dragon. Aiming the weak and open parts of the dragon's body, he eventually kills it. After the fight is over, the old man joins them and says they have to shut the gate for good, but before that, they need to defeat another creature. Thanks for watching, subscribe and take care.